afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So we are on a ditch project this afternoon. We have a half a mile of ditch here that we're going to be debrushing, and then later we will be digging. I am running the 608B Timberjack feller buncher, and George is in the HX220AL Hyundai Excavator with our newly installed Werk-Brau progressive link thumb. So we are testing it out today. This is the first project that thumb's been on. So I made George a really big mess to clean up just to see how well this thumb works out. I actually left these cut off high because these have to come out stump and all. So I went through and I cut the tops of them off. That way he's not dealing with messing around with the tops. All he's got to do is just grab the trunk and the stump and peel it out. They're going in the brush pile. So let's walk down there and we'll video him for a little bit using the new thumb and see what he thinks of it. Looks like it's working really well. We just put it on yesterday and we were really excited to get it out to the job and try it out. Really like the way that it's designed. We like the way that the curvature of the teeth are on it for grabbing round things and holding them. That Fleco thumb we had before on this machine worked well, but it just wasn't curved enough, and it was so flat that you'd grab something round like a good hard oak tree or something like that, and it'd tend to want to pop out because there was no curve to the teeth to hold it in. So we'll walk down there. I got to get my truck anyways and move it down here a little farther so I can get some camera equipment, and then we'll continue on with this project. So after George gets all this laid out, I'll go jump in the 621 case wheel loader with the grapples and come through and clean it up. And we've only got designated spots that we can burn because this is muck through here and we don't want to catch it on fire. So we've got a nice sand area down here, and we've got a sandy spot down there by the culvert that we installed a few weeks ago, and those can be our spots to burn. Now the nice thing about that progressive link thumb is it will follow the bucket around quite a ways when you uncurl the bucket. So it gives you a lot more positions that you can work with your bucket in. Seems like he's got it set in a good position for what he's doing right now. And I like the extra long tines on it because you can rake with it also. Seems to be holding well. We had to adjust the pressure and flow so that it wasn't slamming. And I believe the relief pressure, we had to set it like 2,250 pounds. That was the high side we set it to. Nice, it broke that. That's the nice thing about it is it's serrated and it's very sharp on the side, so it breaks things really nicely too. We like to do that to reduce the length of the trees. I'll see if he'll let me run it for a little bit so I can try it out. with it for a little bit. As you can see, we'll roll that bucket all the way back. As you can see how much farther that thumb travels than the old one did. George has me sitting way too far away from my controls here. Had to readjust my seat. He's a little taller than I am. Stumps up on the flat, we're going to dig out. That way our customer doesn't have to worry about catching them with farm equipment and things like that. These mulberry trees are just so bushy. Snap them limbs off, that way they pile a lot nicer. Break some of this dead stuff up. Oh yeah, I like this thumb. Going to be able to tell you how much I like it when I get into demolition work with it and see how well it works. Demolition work, that's when you start to get a little more precise with grabbing, you know, small things out of the piles, like building steel building materials and things like that, trying to separate them from wood, electrical things, stuff like that. I'm going to come back and dig this stump out. I could probably set the relief pressure a little higher on it. I don't want to yet though. I want to use it for a while yet. So far, I really like it. That's all right. I'm gonna have to come back through and trim a few of these off. There was just so much up on top that I couldn't get to some of them. And you know, the filler bruncher has its little T-Rex arms and you can't really grab much with them. Project. We couldn't work on it Friday because it rained too much and we didn't want to make a bunch of ruts. So we're back here Monday morning. Had quite a bit of stuff to do over the weekend and it was too wet anyways to work on this. So I'm working on getting this, looks like some sort of Siberian elm, I think. Getting this big stump dug out. I went around it, I cut it off with the buncher. Cut everything that I could reach, and now I gotta get this stump out. I should have started a video earlier, but I decided to start it now. It's a good sized stump. I had to dig around it quite a bit. The more it flops around, the more dirt that falls off the bottom of it, so that's fine. I want it to tip down and stay down, so let me dig out a little right here. I'm going to dig it out, have the customer cut it off for firewood. He likes to cut some firewood as we go. He's got an outdoor wood boiler, so he can pretty much burn anything he wants. Got a lot of dirt stuck to it. There we go. Now it's staying. Let me get some of that dirt off of it. It's a heavy one. The more I shake it, the more of the dirt I get off. Work the bucket on the back side of it, try to knock some off. Oh yeah, it's coming off. around side of it and roll it up out of there. Some of them can be a real bear. I didn't want to leave this one because it's too high up on the bank, and I was afraid it'd get into it in the farm equipment, so I thought it better come out. Push some dirt in behind it. That'll keep it from trying to stand up as much. So far, the new Werk-Brau thumb's working out real well. Really liking it. This is muck out here, so this was grown down into the marrow. That's what the white is. See some peat moss in there. That's what the orange looking stuff is. That's peat moss. You'd think they'd come right out in the muck, but sometimes they put up a fight because they have such a mat of roots under them. Especially these elm trees. That's a lot of stump to grab. Just too heavy. Get scooted over here and get it positioned safely so he can start cutting on it. Roll it over. There we go. Now I'll let him cut what he wants off of it, and I'll roll it around and make it safe again. And he can just saw it up. Well, we're on our last strip of stumps that we need to dig out here in this ditch project. I actually started from the other direction the other day so that we could make a pile at the other end. That way we had two piles. See, it's low muck through the center, and we couldn't really burn because we didn't want to catch the muck on fire, so we went to each end and made a pile. So now I'm working my way back to the first pile. Werk-Brau thumb has been wonderful. Really like it. It's a great attachment. If you're looking for a thumb, this one will serve you well. So far, it's grabbed everything I've wanted to grab within reason. You know, the big stumps that I've handled on this project with it, it's grabbed them to the best of the ability of a hydraulic thumb is going to grab them. Just don't think you're going to get any better than that. I mean, that's a good sized chunk of wood to grab, and it's a lot of dirt to handle on it. You know, it's a lot of weight there. That's tangled up mulberry here. Oh, that's why there's another big stump hiding back there. Okay. My next attachment I want to get is a clearing rake. I just want a 4-tine heavy rake, and I'm gonna run that instead of a bucket. Been looking into a couple different ones. I want to contact Werk-Brau and see if they would build me a custom one of what I actually want. I want something with replaceable teeth like a bucket. And I want something aggressive. And I want it to be tough. I want to be able to grub stumps with it and not worry about breaking the tines. I have to find out who I need to contact at Werk-Brau to get to the right guy or girl to get something maybe going on that, if that's possible, if they would build something. They make what they call a grading rake, and it's not quite what I'm looking for. It's just kind of wide for one thing, and it's got smaller shanks. I want something that's, you know, beefy. I want dirt to be able to pass through. I want it to be aggressive. Basically, I want it to look like what the thumb looks like here on the front, but on steroids. And I don't want the gap in the center like this has for the boom. I want them to be equally spaced and bigger. I want something that if I get a log between the tines and I swing, I want it to bust the log and not bend the tines or anything like that. Nope. Had them vines down there. There we go. So far though, it's been a good attachment. I like it. It's got just the right amount of curvature on it. It's not too much. Stuff stays in it. I can pick up a pretty good sized water brush with it. Let's see what's hiding in here. Oh, that's a log that fell, or that's a tree that fell over. Let's get this smaller stump out. Take a phone call, and that phone call just so happened to be Dave from Harding's Heavy Equipment. He's like, hey, he's like, figure I'd touch base and talk to you in a week or so. He said, how's everything going? I said, everything's going great. I said, in fact, it's just the guy I wanted to talk to. I said, perfect timing. I said, I was just talking about getting a clearing rate for the 220, which we had talked about this before back in like January of 2021. Or no, January 2023, sorry. Anyways, I forget what date it is sometimes. So anyways, we had talked about this and he had gotten some prices on them. And at the time this excavator had still just had the original Hyundai quick coupler. So it wasn't set up to accept 200 Hitachi attachments. And the 220 size isn't as common as far as pin dimensions as like a 200 or like a 320 cat, those dimensions. So a couple of the companies we called, they're like, well, it's going to be quite a while to get one made. We don't have anything in stock already made. So we kind of scrapped the idea for the time. Well, now that I've got this new Werk-Brau coupler that accepts 200 size attachments, anything goes. And it accepts different pin-to-pin dimensions and different pin boss widths. So it really opens up doors for different attachments for this machine and availability on attachments for this machine. So works out real nice. So anyways, him calling just was at the nick of time, so now I got him working on calling. He's going to call Werk-Brau and see if they will possibly make the rake that I have in mind For one thing, it'd be good publicity for them to make me one because it'll be on the channel, and another thing, it'd be just something good for them to sell. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe they'll make the rake I want, and then I'll be able to add it to my collection of Werk-Brau attachments already. Which I like Werk-Brau because they are made in the United States, right here in Ohio, not too far from where we are here in Indiana. So, and their attachments work wonderful. I like their attachments, so why not keep up the collection we got here? I'm gonna have to cut that off some more with the puncher. Kind of hard to talk when you got all this breaking wood in the background. But if Werk-Brau's not willing to make one, we've got a couple other companies that already have what I like. So we'll see about getting one of them. And then we talked about another 220 that's loading corn out of big piles. The guy that has it, he's had questions on different settings as far as the stick and boom performance. So talked to Dave about that. He had a few questions because I've messed with mine quite a bit and adjusted it and played with it and done different things. So someday I'd like to have a set of rotating grapples. I think that'd be really cool. Rotating grapples with a saw in them. Grapple saw would be cool. Especially like when we're cutting stuff up that has to be loaded in a dump truck and hauled off. Grapple saw would be excellent. You can hold it up to the bed to get the right size or length. Nice thing about rotating grapples is however the tree's laying, you could also spin the grapples. Like right now, I could turn them 90 degrees to what they are now and grab that log the way it lays, and I can make it work. Like that. That works. But those rotating grapples are pretty expensive. You're looking at about, for this size machine, you're looking at about, 50, 60 grand for a slightly used set with a saw in them. So they are an expensive attachment, but man, they would save time, I think. Light makes a shear that I'm half interested in that goes on an excavator, and it's actually designed for cutting limbs off. But what I want it for is like when I go through with the feller buncher and I lay a bunch of trees out, I'd like to come back through with that shear on an excavator and cut the tops out and reduce them down so that the piles aren't so long. And I would think that with the shear, as long as you don't pinch super tight, you would be able to have the ability to pick stuff up and move it around without shearing it. Go ahead and get these stumps out. Tell the customer that I needed to save some of this wood because I needed to burn these stumps up to get rid of them. I I don't like to leave piles of stumps and fence rows or even bury them. I like to burn them up and get rid of them. It's just, if you keep enough wood, you can keep them burning and get them burned up, and then you don't have to deal with them. Some guys will roll them in the edge of woods and stuff like that, and it's just a mess for later on. Unless you really have somewhere where you know that you're never going to do anything, then it's okay. But if you ever plan on doing something, then you got to deal with all them stumps. Last little bit of brush out of the ditch. So I'm going to clean up around this pile a little bit here. So this will burn all night. We'll come tomorrow, we'll scatter out what's left, restack it, let it burn for a while more. We do have another section that we have to debrush for this customer. actually came down today and asked me if I'd be interested in doing it. So yeah, why not? We'll get it while we're here. I gotta get that done. It's not nearly as big a ditch, part of it, but some of it is. Fire's a little warm. So, if you're looking for a hydraulic thumb, check out these Werk-Brau thumbs. I really like it. Really like it. Chases the bucket around, being a progressive link, gives me the ability to grab in all different positions. Got this wet stuff that just came out of the ditch. Throw that up there, it'll dry out. Plenty of heat in there. So George and I are going to finish raking this up, and then next couple weeks we'll come back with the 270 and we'll dig all this, get it clean. There's a few sticks here and there still in the ditch that need to be dipped out, but nothing major. It's just stuff that kind of floats up over time, stuff that's stuck in the bottom. That stump up on top. Keep putting them on top, knocking the dirt out of them, and they'll burn up. That one actually burned up pretty good. On top, by tomorrow there won't be much left of it. Grab around this side of the pile. I'll have George go all the way around, just rake it towards it. starting to get active, and they are all over me. Got them in my beard, and they're driving me crazy. I know they're not fleas or anything. They're just a little black bug that, when I got warm out today, they start coming out. And they're not them little pirate bugs that bite you. They're just annoying. They're just crawling on you. My Werk-Brau vinyl decals are going to last on the side of the thumb being in the heat. They're doing good so far. It's pretty hot in there. And over and above it and stuff. Alright, we're going to get the rest of this raked up, and then that's going to be it for today. So, thank you for watching. Greatly appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the first video with the new Werk-Brau thumb. Definitely a great product. Really like their thumb. And hopefully we can maybe work something out on a clearing rake, and I can get a Werk-Brau clearing rake. It'd be really cool to have it all the same brand with the same company. We'll see what happens. Get this last little pile, part of it. It's getting to be that time of day. I'm getting hungry. Go home and get some supper. Oh, we did get a little feller buncher action in this video too. So it wasn't solely about the Werk-Brau thumb. It is tough, I'll give it that. Some of them stumps that I wrestled with. Didn't twist it, didn't nothing. Alright, thank you for watching. We'll see you all in the next one. Have a good evening.